It said everything happens for a reason, but maybe everything happens for a Reese's. Take noise-canceling headphones. Do they block hearing to heighten taste? That sound seems to show everything happens for a Reese's.
With the Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One, you earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. And you get big purchasing power, so your business can spend more and earn more. Stephen, Brandon, and Bruno, the business owners of SandCloud, reinvested their 2% cash back to help build the company's retail presence. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Find out more at CapitalOne.com/SparkCashPlus. Terms apply.
Ted Lasso as a coach is like the perfect temperament.
And I just think it's so ironic that now that you are a coach of your daughter's team, you went back to the Coach Campbell style of coaching, of intimidation.
Just yelling at her.
Ted Lasso, get your ass in on the line, ladies.
Just because you're 8 years old doesn't mean you gotta act like it. For God's sakes.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to New Heights, ladies and gentlemen, a Wondery show produced by Wave Sports and Entertainment and brought to you by Audible. Listen to what I gotta say. We're your hosts. I'm Travis Cousins, my big brother Jason Kelsey. If you didn't know, we are the Kelseys, and that's what they call us. And you're listening to our podcast. We are recording together here in Los Angeles, California, making our way out west.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's pretty nice.
Two Clevelanders making the way out west to the show.
We're
big
out
time
officially.
Hollywood.
Officially out here for a small amount of time.
Yes, and we're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Subscribe on YouTube, Wondery Plus, or wherever you get your podcast, and follow the show on social media at New Heights Show with 1S. Jason, let the people know what a special episode we have coming up.
Well, we're back, and we have an incredible episode for you guys. That's right. We are bringing you this episode on Friday because we just couldn't wait to get it to you. That's right.
We got a treat for you.
Guest conversation was just too good. Get ready for Mr. Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, baby.
Man, I'm fired up about this.
Dude, the best.
We're going to get into it right now. Gear up.
How long do we chat for the what? I only asked
Well,
that.
I
We're all
mean,
good.
how much time do you have?
Whatever. I only ask that because it's like I can give short answers and long answers. I don't know what agenda you guys have.
Whatever
We'll
works
just talk,
best.
yeah,
Yeah, I
you
think
put
too.
some
Yeah.
fun.
This is not professional, as you know, Jason. We're just out here.
But I all my podcasts viewing and listening are from clips. So it's like
Oh,
you
no,
guys
I'm
and
right
Sue
there
and
with you.
Megan and like all the smoke. It's like So I know that it's 30 seconds at a time. No.
Yeah. No, they'll cut it up to make it 30 seconds. No matter how long-winded it is, they'll make it a clip. Yeah.
Good. I respond well to editing.
Samesies. Yeah.
Well, that being said, Jason, you want to jump on the intro?
All right, we're gonna jump right into it.
We got our own Bruce
Brandon?
Buffer right here.
Yeah, let's prove it.
All right, our guest. Where's my ISO? All right. Our guest today from Overland Park, Kansas. He's a four-time Emmy Award-winning actor, a fifth-grade CYO championship-winning basketball player. You might know him from his 9 seasons on SNL or starring in the Emmy Award-winning show Ted Lasso.
All right now.
Please welcome Mr. Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, baby.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, baby.
It's nice to hear that all stated one after another. It's like I forget.
Yeah, right.
You're just driving out the windshield. I don't look in the rearview mirror often enough.
And we're only hitting the highlights. We're getting
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they even mentioned my children. It's like
Speaking of which, how are your children?
they're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Otis
yeah.
Daisy.
Yeah,
Shout
they're
out,
doing-
guys.
They're doing great. Yeah, they're doing well. Otis has got his birthday, his 11th birthday coming up here on April 20th, and so now he's well into the double digits now. So it's
Love it.
Oh, man.
little man.
You already know. I'll get him a keg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. He's like, Daddy,
He's
I
ready.
don't like this.
He's ready.
The bubbles.
That's how we do out
He
there
likes
in Kansas.
the ceremony of it. Yeah, that and the pumping and the keg stands. Just the taste. He probably wouldn't respond to.
Do you remember your first beer?
Yeah, it was a lot later in life than most.
Okay.
Yeah, I was one of those athletes that took strongly to the DARE program.
Me and you both.
man.
Me and you both.
I
it
am
was
the
college.
odd one out of this situation.
You're the cool one.
No, I was not.
I remember
was a
Jason
band, but-
stumbling into the bedroom at
Yeah.
5 or not at 5, but on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Just hearing boom, 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 poof, and like breaking doors off hinges.
Yeah. And you're like, I'll wait for that. I'll get to that eventually.
That doesn't seem as cool as it's made out to be.
But I do remember it was second semester freshman year of college, community college. I was on the basketball team, and we got, as an athlete, you guys know you got that. Well, maybe not for football, but like for basketball, you would get there early before school started, second semester. So we were doing practice and everything like that.
Right.
And I did 3 Miller Lights and then half a bottle of root beer schnapps.
Oh wow!
And I was ripped.
Yeah,
ripped. And my good friends Chris Sines and Brandon Bartels, they were roommates, and they were the ones that let me use their phone. I remember calling information in LA asking for Jim Carrey's phone number. Like where you're just like Carrey, Jim. Oh, maybe it's under James. Like Ace Ventura was the biggest movie in the world at that point. We would watch it every other week, and so it was bad. And then the next day we had practice, and I remember puking what looked like eggs, but I didn't eat eggs.
Yeah,
it was like it was bad news. It was bad news.
Yeah,
and then I stayed away for like a year or two, and then it wasn't until living in Las Vegas when I was doing Second City, like in my mid-20s, that then we would go to this bar called the Crown and Anchor, which is since closed recently, and it's what we named the bar in Ted Lasso after. And it was one of those places. Yeah, we'd play a lot of darts and drink pints and eat chip buddies, which is basically like French fries on hamburger buns. Oh, it's a British thing.
Really?
Or a Vegas British thing. It's one or the other. Yeah, nice. Chip buddies.
Don't ask too many questions.
Yeah, I know.
Where should we start?
You tell me. It's your show. Golly.
Did you ever pitch Ted Lasso at SNL?
No. No.
So can you kind of give us the backstory? Because I think I know a little something. I got a good friend in KC who married a girl that I think her father was maybe a gym teacher.
Oh, I had a basketball coach.
Was it the basketball
Donnie
coach?
Campbell, yeah.
Donnie
Campbell. I mean,
the
coach character itself was styled after Mike Ditka. We did these we got it was in 2013. It was the summer of NBC Sports had the Premier League that they're going to be showing on NBC. So they're like, okay, we want to do an ad campaign, and they had this advertising company called Brooklyn Brothers, which was actually 2 British guys, and they had like 5 different ideas for different promos, and one of them was an American football coach coaching soccer. Yeah. They were modeling it after a coach character that I had played on SNL, which was much more of a yelling type, he was a football coach. Yeah. He had a mustache, but he was a yeller and screamer, like a Bobby Knight type thing, like probably, went to West Point kind of
throwing chairs.
Yeah, exactly. 100% like that.
Intimidation.
Intimidation versus motivation. Right.
Yeah.
And
it's my kind of coach.
And so then I was like, it'd be more fun to play like a little bit, softer version of it. And so that's where the voice sort of came out, which was just a way that I would talk when you're just sort of doing stuff with your friends and joking around and playing a certain type voice type coach. And it sounded a little bit like Bill Self, sounded a little bit like Roy Williams, sounded a little bit like, but it was just a voice that I just, it wasn't specifically after them.
Okay.
The coach, my high school coach, a fellow named Donnie Campbell, was definitely a guy he was definitely the guy that introduced me to John Wooden, who was like the patron saint of sort of the ethos for the Ted Lasso character, what he ended up being on the show, but also was really always had those fun kind of country fried phrases, and the one that I always remember that I always bring up is like, Sudeikis, you look more nervous than a long-tailed cat, a room full of rocking chairs, and he's from like Lyons, Kansas, but he was like a badass football player. He played at K-State, was a quarterback, got drafted after Warren Moon, by the Oilers, so he never saw an ounce of playing time. But like a big dude, and when but he definitely, and I think he'd own up on this, and I deserved it at the time, but he was definitely more of a screamer. Like I got the brunt of Coach Campbell, and rightfully so. He would holler at me quite a lot because I was a flashy, fancy kind of passer.
Pistol Pete,
that was more my vibe, and he was more of a Norman Dale. You got 5 crisp passes before we shoot, and
what's all that fancy shit over there, Sudeikis?
100%. Snakes, what are you doing? Like all that. Then when we did the commercial in 2013, he was a little bit more of a knucklehead, and then then it did well. Like the people liked the commercial, comedy people liked it, soccer people liked it, football people liked it. A favorite quote that Brennan and I heard like a couple years after that was like a British guy come up to, "Oh, I love those commercials. You got everything wrong perfectly. It's like, which is like, it's like such a lovely way to say it. And we were flattered.
Yeah.
So then we wanted to do another one in 2014, and so we came to NBC Sports, and they're like, sure, but we don't have the budget to fly over to London. It's like, okay, great. So then it became, okay, well, this is kind of funny because the story is he got hired and fired in 3 days by the Tottenham Hotspurs in the first commercial. So the second one was like, instead of him being mad about it, he fell in love with London. He fell in love with soccer/football, and now he's just dedicated his life, and he bought a Mini Cooper, and he's waking up, at the butt crack of dawn to watch Premier League over here in the States and all that kind of stuff. But it unlocked this sort of like childlike enthusiasm for him. And he started coaching a little girl soccer team and whatnot. And so then that was 2014. Then 2015, Brendan and Joe and I hung out. We were talking about like, what else could we do? Do we do another commercial? Is there more there? Is there like a movie? And we just sat down and just started writing. In 1 week's time, like in 3 days, like 6 different ideas for episodes. We wrote a pilot script, and then it just sat there for like 2-3 years. My ex and I, Olivia, we had a couple kids. Joe, who's one of the co-creators of the show, co-created a show called Detroiters with Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson and their friend Zach Cannon. And then Brendan was writing plays and acting and all sorts of stuff. And then Bill Lawrence, who had created like Cougar Town and Scrubs and whatnot, had an idea for a show that he thought maybe I could, would be interested in. That one didn't quite work out, but we hit it off. And he's like, well, if you have any other ideas, let me know. And I was like, well, we got this. We had like this stack of papers. I was like, check this out. See, is this anything? But again, towards what I was saying earlier, no parent, you're going to want to check that. It was like, is this anything? Like literally, I don't know. And I always put that phrase that I always heard about.
I was typing last night. I just want to check out this.
But did you think that it was something?
No, I mean, I knew it was fun. No, not. I mean, I knew it was something that we had fun doing. I knew it was something I was excited about, but it wasn't like. I
assume more times than not, when it's something.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, but not to the point, not to the level it became.
What it is.
Yeah, just, no way, Jose. There's no way to know that.
Yeah.
But it was at least, I wasn't embarrassed. I was giving it to a guy who could, it was like a stalled car. And I was like, do you have gas for this tank? And he certainly did. And he read it on the flight back, and he's like, oh, there's definitely something there. He was 100% into it. And so then then it was like this long process of making it, of like, trying to pitch it to networks and streaming sites, trying to, write a pilot, then writing it, then shooting it, then editing it, and then released it to the masses. August 2020. And then it just took off in a way that never in a million years would any of us thought. I mean, I have a decent imagination. I couldn't have imagined that at all. And
as Ted Lasso fans, man, thank you, because that shit is gold.
I appreciate it.
Have you had
Absolute
professional
gold.
athletes or just athletes in general come up and talk to you about how much they appreciate watching the show?
Yeah.
And like I really do think like Ted Lasso as a coach is like the perfect temperament as a coach.
Yeah.
I've always felt like, and you just nailed it.
I appreciate that.
I don't know. I've always been curious, like what you talked about your gym teacher or your basketball coach. Like, how did you get to that tone with him?
I think it was taking the best parts of all the different mentors and teachers and coaches I'd had in my life. People like Tina, people like Lauren Michaels, people like Coach Campbell, people that I didn't have, like John Wooden, people. It is that wish fulfillment, the person that you'd want to be at, And it was also just fun because it's like a guy that likes to say yes and to other people that deals these things.
That's
and
a great point,
my joke, the first season when doing press, people were like, how much is that like you? It's like I think it's the best version of myself. I don't always have access to that. How many of us do? But it's like me after 2 beers on a friend's boat. It's like in a bright sunny day where you're just like, I'm loose, I'm having fun. It's like the water's cold, I don't care. Like, let's get in there. Hey, let's all hop in there. Come on, let's see what happens. And you're just like, you want to dance, you want to DJ, you're just like, you're feeling it, and you're just looking for the best in people. But I think it was an amalgamation of probably, if I were to sit down and really do the work, like probably like 20 different people in my life, and probably 4 of them are imaginary, just something you'd want. But we've had athletes, coaches love it. Like, I mean, we have owners of sports teams, appreciate us showing like the human side of ownership too.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? Like
Rebecca, shout out,
and so it's in all aspects, and even just people like I get to go speak at these events at like these companies, and it's a lot, people that are in leadership. And we all are, whether we have a job that does it or not, we're all in a position of leadership. And so people respond to those.
So many
those elements.
carryovers to everything. And it's interesting you brought up Yes and from your improv time, because it is very similar with what he does in the show. But I just, I think especially when you've been through sports for so long and you've seen how like ego and things can be divisive, the way he forgives, the way he motivates, the way he keeps people calm. I mean, the whole thing is just so well done. I don't even know what I'm asking, to be honest with you. I've just been a huge fan of the temperament of it from day one.
And I just think it's so ironic that now that you are a coach of your daughter's team, you went back to the Coach Campbell style of coaching, of intimidation.
Just yelling
at her.
Ted Lasso. Get on the line, lady.
Just because you're 8 years old doesn't mean you got to act like it. For God's sakes. Get out of my gym.
Oh, my God.
Get the hell out of my gym, Daisy.
So good.
That character's right there, too.
Everybody's got a little Coach Campbell.
100%. It's amazing that Coach Campbell, like a neat thing about the show is so many people connected to it have got to go off and blossom into their own thing. The Coach Campbell has like this great like speaking career as like the inspiration of Ted Lasso, which is wonderful,
that's
which is so
awesome.
neat. And he can tell the truth about me as an actual athlete. It's that whole thing. The older I get, the better I was. Coach Campbell's there to stop that shit. He's like, nope, he was not that good. A lot of turnovers. 1 to 3 assist to turnover ratio. But those 3
never wanted to pass the ball.
Unless it was through his legs or behind his back. Jason Williams, light.
Oh yeah, Jay Will, baby.
No, I appreciate it. It's neat having people from, especially from the soccer world, because that's any of these are gatekeeper communities, and the way that the football community embraced us, because they didn't know, they thought we were going to be
mocking it or 100%. Something like that.
And why wouldn't we? Americans coming over there, and yet impossible to do when you have someone like Brendan Hunt, who's like the football soul of that. He loves that sport. He comes about his love for it. Honestly, he was a Chicago boy who made fun of the scores and like 90 minutes of nothing, and then was working in Amsterdam and fell in love with the sport and loves it to his core, and that permeates throughout the show, and we try to honor that versus being parasitic towards it, because it's the only way I think that the character would want to be. It sort of permeates from that ethos, which is really, really, really special and really neat.
Awesome. Well, is there season 4? Is it in the works? Is it?
Are we allowed
I don't
to
know
say
what
that?
I'm allowed to ask on
You
that.
can tell us to fuck off.
Yeah. No, you're gonna. Yeah. That's what we're writing. We're writing season 4 now.
Yeah.
That's the official word. Yeah. No, Ted's coaching. Yeah, they're a women's team. So that's
happening.
That's
Women's
it.
team.
Yeah.
That's
what. There you go.
Is he coming back to the States, or am I asking too many questions?
He was back in the States.
Am I asking
that's
too
too
many
many questions. But
all right. We'll leave it at that.
And it's only because I don't know.
Only
I don't have any answers. We're just writing it now.
There's a paper. There's a paper with ink on it.
We won't ask too many more questions.
No, but that's what we've been up to.
I'm very excited to hear that. It felt like there needed to be more, to be honest with you.
That's nice.
And it's, I know there's that, whenever you're writing something, I'm sure there's always like, at what point are we done with this, and at what point do we keep going? Yeah. I think I speak for Ted Lasso fans everywhere that we really did not want you to stop. So please keep doing
that. That was we had those a couple of years there where we had the writers and actors strike, and that made the time off that we all earned feel a little less special, because everybody was off, and it's heartbreaking because that makes things tough for not just the actors and writers, obviously, but everybody else involved in making these things, and people behind the scenes, and then put up the lights and make the costumes and all that. All that stuff came to a grinding halt, and then just through that. Post that, I should say, the universe kept just like saying things, whether kind folks at airports or on the internet, or friends of my folks, or just other people in the industry, other people in wherever, in any walk of life, and it was just like, okay, I hear you, we hear you, we're listening, and then just more stories kept unfolding and just popping up in our heads, and so that's where we're just exploring all that now, and it's exciting. I mean, it's daunting, because we told the story we wanted to tell, and but there's more there, and it is a neat group of people to work with. It's a wonderful group of people and characters to write around and for, and
there's so many likable characters. In
Yeah,
that thing, and everybody plays their part so fucking
I know
perfect.
it's such a great group.
I felt like Roy Kent at
You
the end
are
of my
Roy
career. It's like literally who
I'm starting to
I'm
kind of
man,
lean
this
into
guy,
Roy a little bit.
I learned a lot with what this guy's doing right now.
It's something. I mean, because that character is inspired by a bunch of things, but it's the way I felt like leaving SNL. Like I'd done sketch comedy for so many years. It's the way I felt about guys that were athletes, or when I stopped being an athlete. And again, I had that lovely crossfade from I had a new passion. But when you've been this guy for this long, and now you aren't, it's like what am I? And that question is one that isn't and you got to play pro. Think about all the. I mean, I think about all the young men that I played AAU basketball with that were the best in the country.
Yeah,
and then they're not, and it's like, and there's nothing set up on the other side to deal with that drop off.
Right.
That when I look at these young men, like it's scary, and you think about all the people that may have used them on the way up, and they're not there to help as much as you would hope. And so,
no question.
Yeah, so someone like. Brett and I used to say that there's a version of Roy Kent that may have gone the way of the dark side had Ted Lasso not come in his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm
getting goosebumps.
It's
right
the
now
truth, man. It is. It's the truth.
It is. And it's
and,
it's real. It's that shit's real. So I appreciate you feeling that way about it. 'Cause that's the way I feel. That's the way I felt about him too. And it's like, and I certainly know it's the way that Brett embodied him and connected to him on the writing side, and threw him his hat in the ring to audition for you. You're just like, yeah, that's it, dude.
You got it.
Iconic. like holy smokes, so neat.
I want to hear about Second City in Vegas, man. So,
okay, yeah.
How did you end up going into Second City? Did you always know after like your hoop dreams and everything? Was it?
It was really kind of nuts. I went from. There's a thing in Kansas City called Comedy Sports. Have you heard of that at all? No. It's still around, and it's basically like short form improv, kind of like that TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
So that's something you would go to after homecoming. You go to the dance, and again, not drinking. We'd go see Comedy Sports because it was a family show, and like there was no swearing or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I did that in KC for a while. Took classes like junior year and of high school, and then senior year, and then I was playing basketball, like I said, down at this Fort Scott Community College. I was driving home every weekend to go watch shows or do shows, and my crossfade from sports to comedy was Comedy Sports. This thing called Comedy Sports,
That's
which
cool
is pretty
as hell.
great. Yeah. And so it was that, and all the silliness that you do as a kid that gets you in trouble in class, that have you running suicides in practice.
Right.
We're now being applauded and lauded.
Well
so
done.
I was like, okay, this is good. This is good. And it was improv, so there's no homework. You didn't have to memorize anything. It was like it's the best art form for talented, lazy people, which I still aim to be. Both talented, lazy, I got down. And so then it was like, okay, well, where do you go from here? And it was like, well, you moved to Chicago. And so me and a couple of buddies from Comedy Sports, we moved to Chicago, and we did that for 3 years, like basically from 97 to the second three-peat for the Bulls.
Such a good year.
97, 98. To live in Chicago,
That had to be insane.
it's incredible. It was incredible, and you're around that, and you're again, just eating like hell, and taking $5, finding the ATM that allows you to take $5 out, which was right down the street from Wrigleyville or Wrigley Field, so I could go to Taco Bell around the corner because that's all you could afford. And you just figure those little life hacks out. And then while there, I auditioned for a couple things, one of which was a theater company, an improv theater show in Amsterdam called Boom Chicago. So then I ended up going over there for a few months. And while there, this is in 2000, Second City's like, hey, we're going to open up a Second City in Las Vegas. Would you want to do that? I was like, sure. I was like, great. How long? People are doing 3-month contracts, 6-month contracts. I was like, I'll do a 6-month contract. I'll be able to come home. I won't have to work a temp job or something like that.
Man, I can only imagine signing up for a gig for 6 months in Vegas.
It wasn't like, didn't do a lot of extracurriculars that can make your time in Vegas much more dangerous, or short-lived.
Yeah.
And so, lived there. Did that, ended up staying 2 years, 9 months. And it was graduate school. Like we did so many shows, all that like Malcolm Gladwell theory of 10,000 hours. That's where it was. And you had to like earn it from the audience. Audiences, they're used to seeing like headliners, like,
Siegfried and Roy.
Or Celine Dion, huge stars. And here we are trying to do like sketch and improv and right outside the window, like it would be only these drapes, type of things would be keeping the sound of people screaming for either winning or losing, or just the sound of slot machines. Oh, wow. And we were doing shows early on, for like 7 people. It was horrible. I mean, it was hard. It wasn't horrible. It was just hard because it's still like what we all love doing for a living. And Did
you catch yourself ever trying to like market it while you were there?
We tried. Yeah. I mean, Second City eventually, started doing that, and we started doing all these really interesting grassroots kind of marketing where we just invited all the cab drivers, and they could come for free, so that when they would pick people up at McCarran, they'd be like, what show you should go see that we went to go see, because the strip clubs had it down where it's like they get a little kickback when they were bringing the strip club. Us, we didn't have. No, we didn't have that kind of. No, we didn't have that access or any of the similar show elements. And so we literally reached out to them like that. And then at some point SNL asked, I got asked if I want to audition for SNL and send in a tape, and then moved away to New York from Vegas.
You brought up the 10,000 hours of essentially practicing over and over again. How do you practice improv? That's one thing that's never made like. When you practice music, you're practicing the exact same thing that you're going to play in the show. Yeah. Improv, you don't know what you're about to do. So how do you prepare and practice to get better at that?
Well, I mean, there's some things like with sports, you work on your ball handling, you're working on your shooting form, and then you're improvising the rest of the thing. Yeah, you're setting up plays, but if you're running like a motion offense or some of the plays that Travis likes to play, just go. Just open there. I think you just prepare, it's about getting comfortable on stage, getting comfortable with the people. I mean, there's rules, but you don't really need to follow the rules. I think the rules are there just to give you some guidelines. Yeah, exactly. But it's not obviously not.
So it's not complete chaos.
No, not exactly. But and then at the end of the day, it's just like getting better at being yourself, getting better at listening. Yeah. And to not get in the way of yourself or try to do too much. It's like a little bit like just a little bit stage savvy, a little bit like, like court presence, like where you can you feel at ease regardless of the chaos that you're about to, and the unknowingness that you're about to,
for sure
dive into.
So the entire time in Vegas, like doing Second City, though, you were going to the sports books on Sundays betting on the Chiefs, is what you and you were just making sure, like you didn't dabble a lot in the slots and the tables.
So much
and all
easier
that,
now. The kids now with their apps, they just have to go on an app. We had to go to a sports book and deal with old grizzled men with cigarettes with ashes as long as their fingers. No, it was different. It's different then. We earned it.
It was a dark thing back then.
I barely gambled. Now we put in. Now it's okay. Yeah, come on, let Pete Rose be.
That's right. That's right.
I'm with you.
I was like,
stats don't lie.
I think I gambled $500 in the 3 years I was there. No. And it was only on blackjack. Maybe I put some money on the Jayhawks, for some Final Fours or something like that. Okay. Maybe at the beginning of the season, just because someone else did it, and I was like, oh, I'll do that. That sounds fun. But for the most part, one time my roommate Mike had a buddy come stay with us, and come to find out what I know now, because people know this world, he was on a card counting team. And so, it was like one of those guys like that those movies are about. And he was practicing basic strategy, and he sort of explained to me all what was going on. And I just found it fascinating. And he had like a computer program that, so you could just run through all the stuff you can do on your apps now when you want to train basic strategy. Yeah. I remember we weren't allowed to drop him off at the safe house. We had to drop him off at a corner. It was like a Durango and Twain. I remember it because it always sounded like a badass 80s cops movie, like Tango and Cash, like Durango and Twain. And then he had to walk to this place where when he explained it to us, it sounded like Fight Club. There's like a bunch of bunk beds and then a bunch of dudes just practicing all day, grinding, because they're just trying to get a little 1% over the house for sure to make these giant bets. And it was crazy. But that was Vegas had that kind of shit going on and we're just trying to do improv. And there's this whole other side. It's the most transient place I've ever lived. People would come in, you'd see them at the pool, they'd have some idea for a new slot machine handle, and then they had just moved in, and then 2 weeks later they're gone. You never see them again. It was fascinating. And people, we lived in corporate housing right off of Flamingo and Koval and Flamingo and Koval, right? Which I found out a year into living there. It's right where Tupac was allegedly shot.
Oh wow!
But
it got a little intense.
It got intense.
We walked past it.
Oh yeah, Well, it's all cleaned up now. We all bought Razor scooters. You remember the little ones?
On the backside of Flamingo, the hotel.
Yes. Hold on, we're talking about Razor scooters right now.
Sorry about that.
Exactly. But there was a street. I forget what it was. It wasn't Flamingo, but it was one what was that, west of it or
Yeah.
east of it, and we would ride our little, we'd unfold our thing and haul ass up there because these are all like, it was filled with degenerate gamblers and addicts, and it was
so
heavy duty. And we'd sneak in the back way of to the Flamingo, walk, fold it up, walk in through the swimming pool area, and then sneak right in. Yeah,
man,
yeah,
That's awesome.
the Flamingo. Was there ever an end goal in mind?
No, yeah, no.
You were just enjoying doing what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, the end goal at that point would have been 100% because we were being produced out of Chicago, and Chicago is like the homeland for Second City. That's where it started back in 1959. Would have been to do one of the resident stages there. So that would have been, I was doing a resident stage, but it was in Las Vegas. But to do either the ETC or the main stage, so to go back and to do as good of a job as you can where you're doing your thing, and then have them say, "Hey, we want you to come back and do a show in Chicago." Would have been the end goal.
It's like, wow,
right in front of them.
I made it back.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And you used to go to the Second City shows in Chicago
all the time. Yeah.
So did
Love
you
it.
ever see the legends
yeah.
pull up? Or?
Yeah. I mean, like when I first moved to Chicago in September of '97, Tina Fey was still on stage. Rachel Dratch was on stage. Horatio Sands was in the ETC. I mean, I saw all those guys. Tina was just going to get hired to go write on SNL. But
cool.
But we used to go every Christmas. We would go back to Chicago like Christmas for with my grandma on the South Side and like all my mom's side of the family, tons of cousins and whatnot, and then like a lot of Junes too for like when kids started graduating from like Catholic school and whatnot. And I would always ask to go to Second City, and we'd go up there. So I definitely saw Colbert and Carell back in the day, and Amy Sedaris, and you just have faint memories because you didn't know who any of them were.
You didn't know who you were watching at the time.
Not yet.
That's
no.
so cool.
I remember seeing like Second City Touring Company came through and they performed at, I forget the name of the theater down there. It's down in Crown Center, but they came and performed, and I saw a guy that his name was John Farley, and he was doing a scene that his brother Chris had done, and John's incredible. That whole family's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, that's got to be Chris's brother, and because he was playing like a character that his brother created at Second City, and he was doing the touring company. So that, it's great. I mean, I still love going back there. It's super fun. It's a great show, and like I said, family show. But that's where I took classes, just like over a summer. It was like 6 weeks, and one of my first improv teacher is a fellow named Corey Rittmaster, who's a Kansas City dude, and we talk. I talk to him more than family because we play Fortnite together.
Nice.
So we're still in
You
touch.
building
Absolutely.
it up?
Really in touch. Like, I mean, taking on 98 other people on this island. I mean, I don't want to get into it too specific, but playing as Billie Eilish.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Just banged.
Well, you went from Vegas straight to SNL?
Yeah.
And you were at SNL for 9 years.
10. Yeah. I wrote for the first 2 years.
Okay.
Which was awesome and scary. Because I'd only at that point really kind of realized how to write for myself. Now I'm being asked to write for other people, but I then got to learn the show, learn the staff, learn the script format. Like it felt like to speak to athletes, like it felt like being redshirted. And yet it also felt, it was scary, but it also felt a little bit like I didn't get the job that I was hoping to get. But I got a job that allowed for so much more than I ever would have realized, and I got to. I started out hot. I got a couple sketches on right off the bat, writing for people, writing with other people. And then I just went blank for months. But I really, really loved the rewrite table. And that's when you're like sitting around talking with the other writers, other cast members, and you're just hyping up their material. And so there's this whole theory in philosophy in SNL, in improv called yes and, where you're supporting the idea and then you're adding to it, and that's just a form of rewriting. So all those 10,000 hours of doing this thing, of just your brain's just sort of clued into it. And then the other thing that's really neat, and it's one of the things I always speak about in relation to team sports, which is just a direct correlation for me to the ensemble arts, is just those time of being with your friends, with your teammates in the locker room, on the bus, and joking around and having different friends with different sensibilities and different sense of humors, and be able to joke around with any of them. Then then to get paid for it at SNL is like you're doing. I was literally doing the same thing that I was doing with my friends, back in high school. Like after a win or a loss, driving from Lawrence, Kansas, getting our ass kicked by them, and then driving back to Overland Park, and that's 30 minutes of hell. Or I would say that's 10 minutes of hell, and then the last 20 minutes
is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was just silliness.
I would say easily the thing I miss most about playing football is being in the locker room and being around the guys and like that camaraderie for sure.
Yeah.
So definitely can relate to
And
that.
even to add on to that, growing up and how many sports we played, how many different, like playing hockey, playing baseball, like the hockey guys are completely different than the football guys that are completely different than the basketball guys or even the lacrosse guys. Like it's like
The wrestlers are what do you do?
Well,
Those guys.
they're nutcases.
Nutcases.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
I was out on once I saw Jason's pimple on his forehead pop on someone else's face. Wrestling in middle school, I was like, I'm good on wrestling.
It's the weight, the yo-yo weight
I
stuff.
still remember getting pinned
One
in
time,
like
Kurt?
this was my 7th grade year. So I was wrestling somebody older.
Oh, okay.
And the guy had his armpit in my face.
Yeah.
And the pungency of this guy's armpit will forever be embedded in my like skull. Like I was just like, man, this is fucking gross.
I remember what
Fresh
school it was.
puberty.
Remember
Yeah,
dealing with
yeah.
me?
You remember
he had
what
not
school it was?
discovered deodorant yet.
Yeah.
And he needed
What school
it.
was it? Remember the school?
This was actually a teammate. I didn't want to say.
There you go.
We were sparring.
Yep. Hey, we'll leave it at that. No,
Ended up
no
being
initials.
a great football player.
No, I would say the only other athletes that
It's a good teammate right there,
Yeah, that's
boys.
right.
It's a good teammate.
like when I was at Fort Scott, we shared our gym with the rodeo team. Like there was the field house was
God,
half.
that's just shit you don't get up in Cleveland, Ohio. You don't get a
it
rodeo
was,
team.
I mean,
No.
it was nuts. And these dudes were the skinniest, like flattest butts dudes you've ever seen in your life. And they were so tough. We'd be in there like with the trainer, like how I jammed my finger. And they'd come in, they just got their rib punctured by like a bull's horn, and they're just like, tape it up so I can get back in there. And we're just like, okay, like, I mean, crazy.
Yeah, you
Like
go
they
through the
were
laundry list of some of these rodeo professionals. The
insane.
injury list of that is much bigger than an NFL player.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it was those guys, those men and women were so tough and so.
I'll tell you what, man.
something else.
Some of them started wearing hockey helmets.
Yeah.
I put on a hockey helmet before.
Yeah.
That shit ain't stopping nothing,
No.
dude. Are you
No.
kidding me?
No.
You gotta
It's going to
put-
hurt still.
No.
You got to put on everything.
Yeah, no, the Bulls. That's just another target for them. They want to.
So back to the. Did you enjoy writing more or performing more? Or do you enjoy writing or performing more? Or are they
They're both pretty
two
fun.
different sides of the same coin? kind of?
Yeah, I mean they're pretty fun. Both are fun. I mean, 100% objectively, writing is more difficult. Like it's exhausting. Like we're in the writing process now, and it's just like I know it's not farming. I know it's not digging ditches. I know it's not teaching math to kids that don't want to be there. I know that very well, and yet it's so hard because you're just in your head the whole time, and you're just actively thinking and actively listening, and it's just a lot. And yet when it flows, it's really, really fun. And there is something just fun about, I don't know, talking to yourself and then typing it out and feeling a little bit like you have control over the universe, which we have no control over. And there is a little bit of that wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
But I love rewriting. I love seeing something in someone and trying to bring that out of them and encourage them to access it for themselves. Like that's a fun thing to do. But performing is great. I mean, it is. It's hard in a different way, but it's mostly writing something else. There's nothing more daunting than a blank page. It's so scary.
I don't even know where you start.
Yeah,
Like-
me neither. And I've done it for years. I don't think I'm good at it.
You
I'm
guys
like,
are already 2 steps ahead of me. I can't even read or write. So it's like, I see a blank page. I'm like, that thing's probably going to stay blank.
it's like I can read that.
Yeah, no, I got that. I can imagine everything, actually. Endless possibilities right there.
I started getting more stuff on the show when I was able to write it and act in it. That was
Got it.
that was one of those things.
You feel more comfortable writing for yourself
At that point,
time.
at that point, yeah, 100%, yeah. Because then you just know
I
what
can
spin you want to
imagine
put
that's
on that.
probably, that has to be kind of a lot of people's sweet spot, right?
Yeah, and
That can do both, at least. You know what I mean?
And I had such a badass generation. My SNL generation. I'm so like, what a blessing to come in with that group of men and women, both behind the scenes, in front of the camera. Like it was something else. And so like our cast could write their buns off. Like, I mean, it was neat. Like, and so everybody. It was scary though too, because you're kind of like, shit. You're all just jockeying for 30 minutes of airtime, between, when a host comes in, you got to share with the song, you got to share with update, you got to share with commercials, obviously, that's why it's there. And then and it's the funniest people.
I never thought about that. It's really just about 30 minutes.
If that, it may be 27. It may, but wow. I mean, it's nuts when you really, really think about it. Mm-hmm. And then on Tuesday night when they're all writing and they're laughing, when I was office mates with Bill Hader the first 5 years, and then Mike O'Brien the second 5 years. And my office was right next to a fellow named James Anderson, who's one of the best writers at SNL in SNL history, and he wrote a lot with Kristen Wiig. Okay. And when I'd hear those two laugh, and then sometimes Paul Appel would be in that office too, because James and Paul were dear old friends. There was a banger cooking. You were just like, oh no, what are they cooked up now? What's every little girl gonna be dressing up for next Halloween? It's like just what iconic silhouette is she going to create, and so what voice you're going to put it to, and it's something else. Yeah.
Did you have like that goat in the acting world that you like looked up to, that you aspire to be, or even somebody at SNL where you were like, oh shit, I'm finally in the same room as?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there were people like that. I mean, like Tina was someone that I loved watching. Like her, and she did a lot of scenes with a fellow named Scott Adsit, who's one of my all-time favorite performers. They were like Second City legends, and he ended up playing Pete Hornberger on 30 Rock too. And he's still, like, when I watch him perform, he just knocks me out. I just think he's such a great actor. He's funny as well, but he's just really good actor, and he was really great at pantomime, which you do a lot at Second City so you don't have all the props and all that stuff.
I'm gonna need you to tell me what pantomime is real quick.
That's just miming. Just miming. Just miming. Okay, yeah. So you just brushing your teeth and all that. All that kind of stuff. But he could. There's a scene that he does where he's running up a stairwell, like a stairwell like this, and it's just it looks like there's a stairwell there, and it just looks like a magic trick. You're like, there's nothing there. It's just incredible. Or chasing a car, and he just would it was just he's just incredible. That's awesome. And he would make it all look so believable, but it was also very funny because he's making something out of nothing at the same time. But him and Tina would just do these really, really clever, really smart scenes, and so that was like, so to have Tina Fey be like a hero. Then she becomes an icon. Then she becomes like a mentor. Then she becomes, a friend. And then that's one of those weird journeys that still knocks me out.
That's awesome. Man.
But anytime anybody came back, like when Will Ferrell came back to host or to work with Tom Hanks, like those are the people that I loved. And and it was like, but growing up, I was I was so lucky. We just rewatched at work. We just rewatched Hoosiers, because of Gene Hackman passing, and like that was someone that
it's the greatest sports movie ever.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
Still holds up.
Yeah,
still good.
Bold statement, but I loved it.
Yeah. Who was that?
It was a bold statement. You say greatest sports
movie.
movie.
It's not that bold statement. What are you going to put above Hoosiers?
I mean, we were talking about Miracle last week, and that was a fucking
Miracle's great.
That happened. Like who? Well, I guess who. No, but I mean, it's fair enough.
I'm not going down that. Like I said, I'm not going to fight it.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Just bold statement. I'm trying to think of there's better.
There's like other comedy movies that I like.
Bull Durham was great. Major League.
I love Waterboy.
Major League.
Yep. Major League. Yeah.
Oh.
Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah. Sandlot is no joke.
So good.
So good. Still holds up. But getting to work with like when you meet those guys, like to me, Tom Hanks, that's like shaking hands with the Statue of Liberty.
I had the pleasure of just he was I always forget the Halloween character he does on SNL.
Oh, David Pumpkins.
Pumpkins. Yeah. I don't know why I never like associate him with the name David. I don't know why I never do that. He was getting ready to do that skit 3 Halloweens ago when Jack Harlow was hosting it, and I snuck up behind him. I was like, is that the man with one red shoe? And he was just like, what? Who the
of all my movies, that's what you're referencing?
Absolutely. That was like the first one I ever remembered.
Well,
it's like the opening. They had an opening scene.
On the bike.
And it's blowing my mind as a kid. I'm
100%.
like,
I remember exactly that opening.
This is like the most skilled human being I've ever seen in my life.
Love that dude. He always had little tricks like that in his movies. He was always doing little fun things like that. Michael Keaton is another one that I've got to meet over the years, and because for years I was kind of like I love Bill Murray and I love Tom Hanks, like, but they're so different. It's like, and then like Michael Keaton is like my favorite parts of both those guys.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, all three men are like iconic in their own ways, but like it's just been that's one of those places where you just can't believe you're meeting that. And then then you get to then Paul McCartney's there too every now and then.
There you go. Yeah. Well, speaking of Paul, you were talking about Will.
Yeah.
SNL50, man.
Yeah.
How awesome was that? That happened, what, like 2 weeks ago?
Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it took me literally a week to recover.
It looked like an entire award show.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people that showed up. Like, I don't know if, I know they kind of do it every like 10 years, but 40 didn't look like that.
No,
like,
I mean, it was something else. And it was cool. For me, the difference between 40 and 50 was we had just left. Like, our generation had just left after the 40th. Like Andy and Kristen had left in maybe 2012, and then me, Fred, and Bill left in 2013. Seth left in 2014. So our generation had just really left. So it kind of felt like we were the freshmen coming back to homecoming, like the college freshmen coming back to senior year homecoming. And now we're 10 years in. I got a couple of kids, it's neat having something that you've made that's, people are responding to, like Ted Lasso. So now you're just kind of baked in. And I think the generation after us too, with like Vanessa Bayer and Taryn Killam and Kate McKinnon, like that generation probably felt a little more baked in too. And because they were on the show at the time of the 40th. And so, yeah, it was great. It was just neat and love.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I enjoyed every second of watching that thing.
Yeah,
man.
same.
You got to be in the skit, the jail skit.
Scared Straight.
Straight.
I took a photo of the good nights when you're saying goodbye there at the end of Will Ferrell and Eddie Murphy like saying hi to each other, and those are my two favorites from the show. And they're just saying hi to each other. This is at the 40th, and then 10 years later to be in a sketch with them is like is nuts. No, it's great. And my kids came to watch rehearsal on Saturday. They just came to watch the big New York musical that we did, where Forte and I are doing and Wig are doing the songs from Les Mis, and they're sitting there, and then we're getting ready to leave, hop on the train, go back home, and Jenna, stage manager Jenna, if you remember, she's like Paul McCartney, Paul, we're ready for sound check. I was like, oh, Paul McCartney's about to play. All right. We're gonna stick here for a little bit.
Needs to watch this. Sorry, guys.
And that, I mean, when they say don't meet your heroes, they are not talking about Paul McCartney. That guy is a great person to meet. He's just that he loves being Paul McCartney.
He is the coolest dude in any generation, in any room. He is just the coolest guy.
He accepts the responsibility. Like he is like, I've been given this gift. I have been put into this Paul McCartney. He is that soul in a Paul McCartney vessel, and he's like, what do you need? I mean, just having him and my sister were talking about Let It Be, like the song, and he's responding to her as if he's never told the story before, that no one's ever asked him before, and he's so present. Dude. Like it's amazing. And then everybody throughout the day are just every now and then when you see Paul up on stage, at every point someone's looking on their phone, looking, how old is he? It's like this guy's he's got more in the tank than I did at the point. I was exhausted. He's like 82, almost 83, and it's just it's like, oh,
that's so cool.
Do you have a favorite sketch from your time at SNL?
Ooh, I had another one of those questions.
Yeah. I would say during my time, and I've answered this before but it's the truth. Was my favorite to do was What Up With That. Because it was a big cast sketch. It also was one that people started getting really excited about, and we would normally do it after Weekend Update. That became its slot, and so you went where I went, you hosted and everything. Yeah. So how incredible, what happens in the commercial breaks, like what that crew, what those men and women do in that amount of time with that amount of intensity and taking things down and putting them up. So when they whip that giant ass Weekend Update desk and they bring it right down the center pipe there, and they're taking down the thing, then they start putting together the What Up With That set. Yeah, the crowd would just start getting like, oh shit, here we go. And all of us are in it. We all know our function. We all know our role. Everybody gets like a little highlight, little spot here and there. We eventually started getting like insane cameos, whether it be Robin Williams or Robert De Niro or just someone, or Samuel L. Jackson, like someone who's not going to say anything is only there to be in this sketch, and then wave goodnight and then come to the after party. Like that was just so fun. That was one of the out of the recurring ones. I loved Wig and I in our first few years together did these characters called the Two A-Holes, which is really fun, where it's like a guy chewing gum and his girlfriend kind of like playing with her hair and chewing gum, and they were just those were a blast to do and write, and people. It was definitely an archetype that people saw in the real world. Sure, it still exists. They're still out there. They're doing well. Yeah. Then like a few of my personal favorites that I was involved in, like Forte and I had a lot of fun things. We did a sketch called Potato Chip. That the very first time we did it was with Taylor when she hosted. Nice. But it didn't make
a young Taylor too.
A young Taylor, yeah. And but it didn't make it to air. We ended up doing it with Blake Lively. She ended up getting it over the hump for us, and they played it so differently, which is one of those neat things. And it was like, it's the silliest sketch in the world. It's worth looking up. It's called Potato Chip. And then Forte and I would do these ESPN announcers for women's sports, where it was basically us like trying to sell. It was us, doing like lawn darts or billiards, but then we would also be trying to sell everything was sponsored by like Massengill, I'm trying. I would do these like crazy rhymes, like when when your what is it, like when your uterine lining looks like the elevator from The Shining, maxi pads. You're like doing, and it's just it was so ridiculous.
Oh my gosh!
And it's like, but people loved us. People loved it. And I remember we got to do. They put together a couple of years while we were still at the show, where it was like all the different sports sketches, from like when Joe Montana or Peyton had hosted at that point, or Michael Jordan or whatever, and we got to do the bumpers, and so we filmed all these live in front of like just 30 minutes before an actual live show, and we got to do these things, and we did them as these characters, and we had so many of those like crazy rhyming things that I can't remember any of them now, but they're all just more like standards and practices. The censors were more and more nervous with each one, and that when you walk that tightrope on that show, that's such a fun thing to do.
Absolutely.
Even though it drove Betsy Torres, our standard. Shout out to Betsy.
Was there ever a sketch that you just knew was going to crush it and it just never caught the air? Like ever got the green light?
It's good. One of the nice things that you learn there is that nobody knows shit. Like you don't know. You never know. Yeah. You can have so much. I mean, you sort of do. Like, I remember when we were all in the studio and Lazy Sunday was playing, and then Jack Black host. And that was like a great episode for the show and for our generation and just for Earth and at large. But I remember when that was playing, whereas the first seeing it at Dress, being like, oh, this is going to crush. Yeah. But that's like a pre-tape piece and iconic in a way that very few things are. But I would say no, because it's almost like you don't want to spook the muses either. You don't. That was always a fun thing that they would like these little bit of superstitions that don't call home and say your sketch is making it. Don't text your friends because it'll end up getting cut. Don't say that you're going to show up in that sketch because your part will get cut. And that happened more often than not. So at some point you're never like typing, being like, oh, this is going to kill.
This is the best.
I even if I ever did, I don't know if I'd ever even say it out loud or would it get from my brain to my mouth. Like something would stop inside. My soul would go, don't you say that shit out loud. Yeah. Don't you dare. Yeah. Don't dare you. That's good shit. Yeah, but nothing that comes up. I can think of maybe, nothing.
I let the Ted Lasso characters live on through every day in practice. So as I scream, football is life,
yes,
man.
You did.
I still say it, dude. I love it. And I already announced that I'm coming back, but Chiefs fans, you have always been right there every single time towards the end of the seasons, in the locker rooms, on the field, having fun with us, man. When did your Chiefs fandom really build up?
I mean, my line for years, because growing up in Kansas City, it was Royals Chiefs, some dalliances with the Kansas City Comets and the indoor soccer days growing up. But my line for years, awesome jerseys indeed. For years when people, especially at SNL, when the crew guys would, like Giants fans and Jets fans were like, you like the Chiefs, and when we weren't doing as well, it was like you love the Chiefs. I was like, no, but I love a lot of people that do, and that was the sincere truth. It's like my family. I'd gone to prior to the last 3-4 years, but probably I think one actual Chiefs game at Arrowhead. Mm-hmm. For us, we were a basketball team, a basketball family. So I would go to I'd spend more time on going to KU or the Big 8 tournament, Big 12 tournament, all that stuff. But then with having kids, obviously the success of the team, getting to know you and Patrick, through Big Slick and the charity stuff we do back home, then it becomes this personal thing. And then what's even more fun is when getting to play this fake coach, and then you have real coaches and real organizations that give you this beautiful treatment. We get to bring my good friends, who are those people that do love the Chiefs, like my friend Terry and his kids who you've met, my friend Billy and his children that you guys have been so kind to, and the Hunts let me roll deep.
There we go.
Where it's like, can I bring a plus 12? They're like, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. I was like,
well, that's it. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's just been a joy to watch, and it's just so now Otis and Daisy, we're watching every week and watching we watched.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. It's a better story.
I laugh about it now, but it hurts inside still.
Of course, because it matters to you.
I blame Jason. He had the voodoo doll next to him the entire time. So.
I did. That did not work out well. Yeah. I got a voodoo doll on like Bourbon Street.
Oh, no kidding.
Trying to get Travis's hands warm in the middle of the game with the voodoo doll. It was not. It backfired.
Ice cold. My hands were ice cold.
It might have been a doo-voo.
Yeah,
it's a doo-doo. It was more doo-doo than voodoo.
Voodoo doll.
Oh well. That's all right.
We'll be back better than ever. We got this. We got this.
That's what I mean. That's the story.
I got you, brother.
You drop down one, then you come back, and then you come back for one shining moment.
There we go.
That's the story I'd write.
You can't just be winning all the time, Travis.
That's
not interesting at all.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch 5 Super Bowls that you guys win.
It fooled me because I definitely thought
it'd be kind of fun. It'd be pretty amazing.
It'd be pretty cool.
I know there's no way to I only deal with this in the fake make-believe world, and I'm sitting between guys who have actually done it and then one who just went through the hardest part of it, and it feels very surreal right now. I don't know how to joke about it with you.
I don't know. I mean, it was so long ago. Like it was. I don't even. I'm really good. I'm really good at just cutting off my memory.
Yeah. But are there dudes that are holding on to it that are still are people still in the cave?
You hold on to it
still
forever.
in there.
Yeah,
I still remember the one I lost, and one play I could have made it.
Yeah, well, you only fucking lost one, Jason.
Yeah. Well, I lost to you too, so shut the. I don't need your sob story right now.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Now we're reaching new heights. Yeah.
But you carry for some reason the losses, especially that loss in that game is something you always carry on with. You move on, you know what I mean? But just like anything, it's
I joke about
we
everything.
Lost the Emmy with season 3 to the Bear, so we're kind of the same.
Yeah, that's some bullshit too.
Well, that's not. Come on, let's not do that.
I know you want to play nice, but that is bullshit.
That's that. Come on, you can't
and
argue
Bear,
art.
What'd you guys pay him?
No, come on.
How much money?
You think they paid? Oh, I hadn't heard that.
I'm kidding. God, can we cut that?
You brought up Big Slick. I've never been to Big Slick, but I've heard a lot. Dude, I've seen a lot of that stuff. I do want to go there. I would love to be a part of it.
Dude, it is
go. I just want to go.
Yeah.
What is Thundergong?
Thundergong, yeah.
What the heck is that?
Big Slick is to help Children's Mercy Hospital. Yeah. We do that. That's a whole weekend. It's a blast.
Unbelievable.
It's a blast. And
last year was $3 million raised?
I think so,
It keeps going up by the mill at this point.
I know.
It just blows
it's scary.
my mind.
It's like being one of those high school teams that's, they're 114-0. It's like awesome. I get so nervous.
And it's like the money is cool and all, but what you guys do actually going to the hospital the day before and actually being around the patients and everything, it's just amazing.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
it really is.
Such good support through the entire entertainment.
Absolutely. And just the city turns out for it too. It's one of those neat things that we started ages ago. Yeah. Rob Riggle had this idea saying, "Hey, what if we do this?" And then he hooked me and Paul Rudd, and then we added Keckner a year later. Then we added Eric Stone Street, and now Heidi Gardner, all from Kansas City, all from the surrounding area.
Awesome.
It's really really neat. And so we have that's every usually in June. I think this year might be around May 31st, but around the beginning of June. And then Thundergong is a thing that me and my buddy Billy Brimmelcombe started. He runs this nonprofit called Steps of Faith, and we help buy amputees new arms and legs. My line is we help people buy arms and legs so they don't cost an arm and a leg, right? But yeah, I mean, he a lot of people.
I mean, it's funny, but it's also
it's clean. You put it on a business card. People are like, I love it.
Business.
And we do that in November, and we help raise. We get people that have lost their arm or leg that are uninsured. We get them back literally on their feet, and working again, and provide help with the mental side of that too. And we work with these amazing prosthesists and physical therapists. And we can get legs people for like $500. So every time someone gives $500, that gets someone back.
Literally, can walk back.
Walk again. Yeah, and Billy, comes about it honestly because he lost he's a drummer. He lost his left leg, got it amputated right above the knee back in 2005. I want to say when he was a touring musician, had no insurance, and so then we put together a comedy rock show fundraiser, raised $50,000 back in Kansas City. It was after my first year year, second year at SNL. We did some improv games. His bands, a couple bands he was in, played, and we raised all this money auctioning some like cue cards that Tina Fey had signed and various things, and that got him a leg for that much money. And he felt so like moved by it. He was like, a couple years later, he's like, how do I do that for other people? And then then this fellow was like, I have this foundation, let Billy take it over. And then a couple years later, he's like, hey, why don't we do this? It's a charity concert. It's basically, we do some comedy too, but yeah, we've had amazing guests, come through, Ben Harper, Winona Judd, Chance the Rapper, Brandy Carlisle, sent in videos for us. Foo Fighters did a video for us a couple of years ago for the one during COVID. Yeah, it's amazing, and that's one night. The Big Slick is like a whole weekend, so it's like these two things. But yeah, and Kansas City shows up for all of them. It's
and when's
that's why I love KC.
That's like it's the first Saturday of every November. Yeah, in the fall. Okay. Yeah, try to keep them. Yeah, so we're not double dipping. I don't want.
You don't want.
You got your band geek over here.
What do you play?
Saxophone.
Okay.
Well, I did. I haven't played saxophone in a long time. Now I mess around on guitar, but
you got to come to Thunder Gong and do Baker Street.
Oh, dude,
you would kill it. Like whatever, or like some Doobie Brothers.
I would. I'd be into Doobie Brothers.
Little Mike McDonald.
That's Billy and his wife Allie have this band called Summer Breeze. Have you ever seen them in KC?
I don't think I have.
I should. I'll make you aware of them. But they play all the time, and they're the house band, so they do all these yacht rock hits in Kansas City. But they can play everything. Like I remember first time Fred Armisen, who's a legit great musician and all his life. He just at the SNL50 played with Devo and the B-52s. And I'm just like, which was so neat. I'm sitting there like, I feel like a proud papa. I asked him, I go, I can't believe you got to play with Devo, knowing that he loves Devo. He goes, the first show I ever saw at Radio City Music Hall as a teenager was Devo. No. And I'm like, and now you're up on stage. He goes, it's just like, we just geek out like that kind of stuff all the time.
Awesome.
We geek out over the B-52s.
Yeah, the B-52s as well. Come on.
My mom had 2 CDs in her car.
Yeah.
Yanni and a B-52 CD.
I forgot all about
Love
Yanni,
Shack
dude.
So goddamn much as a kid. To this day, if Love Shack comes on, we're going to be jamming to it.
Oh, it's so funny. And Yanni, you can't.
Yanni, she just had Yanni to put us to sleep. She was just like, all right, you guys are talking.
I don't remember many of the songs. I just remember the photo on the album, the hair.
Pianos and violins. That's all I remember.
It's a vibe. Yanni's a vibe. Yeah, for sure.
I love this, man. Dude, I wanted to end, but we got one more little part in here. Yeah, even though we haven't been going off this side.
Actually, if we're going to do
battery's out.
This is not the battery. I locked it and I don't know how to unlock it.
Yeah.
So
even more complicated.
We are amateurs.
There we go.
There we go.
Hanging like this.
Don't cut that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
We got to ask.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer.
Great.
You can tell us to fuck off, whatever you want.
Amazing.
It's sometimes just
a little
a better
rapid fire
answer.
section here.
Yeah, we already talked about you playing basketball.
Yeah.
Talked about SNL and hosts and stuff. Who's better in their respective fields? Are you better as a basketball player, or is LeBron better as an SNL host?
Wow.
You both played. You played in the All-Star game with him.
Yeah.
He played on SNL with you.
Yeah. Look, as an SNL host, he's a hell of a basketball player.
Yeah, Bron.
No, I love that dude. I mean,
dude, the best.
We need to put this to the test. We need you and LeBron one-on-one on the basketball court, and then we need you one-on-one on the SNL stage.
Improv stage.
There's a sketch where we did characters that Bill and I did a couple times where I play like a stagehand who is just kind of a dick to people. We did it to Julia Louis-Dreyfus, we did it with Paul Rudd, and we did it with LeBron. And I challenged him to one-on-one in the sketch. And in rehearsal, I did go by him and then went up, and he didn't know I was going to go do a reverse layup, and I did score on him on an 8-foot goal.
And he was actually trying to
he was 100%. Yeah, he was definitely trying.
LeBron James,
yeah, he
tries.
can't turn that off.
Yeah, right.
He can't turn that off. No, it's a
different.
But it was funny because Don Roy King, who was our director at the time, who I just saw at the 50th, came up and literally brought it up. He goes. If you ever need someone to
vouch for this,
I know it happened. I was like, thank you. So here it is. It kind of sucks to be the one telling this, keeping this this apocryphal story alive. You know, I'd prefer it to be someone else, but
Well, now you
so
have
be it.
us two knuckleheads.
No,
exactly.
we'll let that
keep
fly.
spreading this.
We'll spread it. We'll spread it.
No, but he
We'll
was
get
great.
to catch some legs.
He went for it. I can't believe he hadn't come back to do it again.
Dude,
he's
he was so good, man. He was so good. I had
The
so
solid
much
gold
fun.
dancer, come on.
Come on now.
It was great.
The perm.
And Maverick, badass. I remember Maverick sitting at the host dinner on Tuesday night. You know, when you go out with Lauren and everything, Maverick sat next to Lauren and was just grilling him the whole time.
The
asking
whole
him questions.
time?
And I was like, I remember sitting across from him.
I was a child.
Yeah,
in
and-
like a baby seat.
But he was
I
asking
didn't
about
say anything
business.
to any.
It was like it was like you know,
Business-
Michael Corleone talking to
business
Don
forward,
Corleone.
man.
It was like fantastic. I was like LeBron is. I didn't know who he was at that point. I was like, LeBron's so lucky to have this dude. This guy's got his buddy's back like big time, and asking Lauren these questions. And Lauren was so fascinated by it. It was
awesome.
great. It was just like watching, you know, an icon to be, just kind of like, you know, just yeah. He was just a curious, smart dude. Yeah, those guys, good on them.
You know it. Just a bunch of Cleveland guys.
Yeah, that's all.
Just
Making
what
the
we
way in the
do.
world
That's
today.
what we do.
How much would your life have changed if you would have been accepted into the Blue Man Group?
I had a hunch. That's what I don't know. I mean, everything. Almost? Yeah. So I mean, I was obsessed with that show, and I loved it. It was the opportunity I felt. I was like, oh, this would be the only chance I'll ever get to play music in front of people. And I wasn't a good enough drummer. I love the show. I think it's so funny. I think it's so brilliant, and I think it's so like subversive. I mean, it's all these things. You know, they just closed the show recently in New York, which is where I ended up. You know, I auditioned in Vegas and then got flown out there. Right, this was August of 2001, so this is right before 9/11, and it was. And I had buddies of mine that were in Blue Man Group in Vegas because they took a lot of our improv classes. We got to know them. Our shows hung out a lot, like both, you know, off stage and like, you know, at each other's houses. You know, it was an amazing time because we were this different kind of show. That was sort of finding its way in Vegas, like the ones that interacted with the audience and not just you know, showgirls or again icons or magic. It was like this weird kind of thing. I remember a handful of them when I was really. It would sort of take me aside and be like, "Do you really want to do this? Like you're really good at talking. Like it's kind of your thing." and I was like, yeah, no, I don't care. I want to do this. I think it's so neat. And yeah, but it would be, I mean, gosh, I wouldn't have my kids. I wouldn't, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that'd be different. I'd be, every time I blow my nose, blue stuff would come out. My eye boogers would be blue, you know, like, yeah, who knows? I'd be a much better drummer than I am.
Dude.
You know, my rudiments would be solid, but.
Well, did you have to paint yourself for the audition?
Mm-hmm. Not for when they flew us out.
There's gotta be a pic.
I wish
There's no
isn't.
way.
There isn't. And here's
you dressed up like that and didn't get a pic.
I know. But when you wear all the same color, like
This is pre-iPhone. So
it's pre-iPhone. Yeah,
right?
we had a disposable camera because they put you up in this like dorm. It was on like 13th Street, and it was all these like-minded, like, you know, all of us were like 6'1" white guys, and majority of it, like if there was 10 of us, I would say 9 of them were, you know, musicians first, or 8 of them were musicians first, and I was more of an actor with like, and I had been literally practicing on like a drum pad during intermissions at my Second City show, or in between shows, driving my castmates crazy, I'm sure, and yet everybody had this like fun spirit, and we were all in New York, flying in from other places, and I remember we bought a disposable camera because we got bald and blue, as they say it. You know, they do a bald cap and the whole thing, and the cobalt blue, and so somewhere. I don't know what happened to that disposable camera, because you got cut like after 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. I imagine it's like, you know, being in a combine or like in a camp.
American Idol. Jesus.
It really was. Yeah. And I got cut after 3 days, and they were like, if he could be a blue man if he worked on his drumming. And then I go home kind of defeated, and then, you know, a few weeks, you know, later, you know, 9/11, and then it was like, then that sort of like rattled us all, and like, okay, what do you love? What do you really want to do? And it was stick with Second City at that point. And so I never auditioned again. But there's a camera out there. But I know when I saw myself in the mirror, I looked at myself, and no bullshit, this isn't even like humility. I was like, I look like a blue peanut M&M. You couldn't see my cheekbones. You couldn't my feature, any features that I have on my face just got washed out. Yeah. And I just looked like all the dudes that I was friends with all looked like male models. And I was like, oh, I think maybe this I thought that if I wore this, I'd look as cool as they do. It's like, no, Jace, they look like that out of the makeup. It looked like an upside down blue peanut M&M. It was horrible. Good. So yeah.
Well, I mean, we know you're a music guy. What's your go-to karaoke?
Ooh, I like Into the Mystic by Van Morrison.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's got some saxophone in it.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you play that. Like that. Or, I mean, Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison, gets the crowd going, and you got a little rap on there, too.
Yeah, you can get the dance moves going with that one.
That's true, yeah. As long as I don't tear a meniscus.
Damn it.
Yeah, don't do that. Do not do that.
I know. That's how you know you're old, when you learn the word meniscus.
Football players very familiar with the nerve. Yeah.
But yeah, those are a couple that come to mind. Forte and I used to do karaoke so much during our SNL years. Like we would just go, just the two of us, to one of those private rooms in the West Village, and just get after in the afternoon.
Nice.
And it's just a blast.
That's
Paul Rudd, one of the greatest karaoke singers of all time, because he does deep cuts. I have learned of songs from doing karaoke with Rudd, where I'm like, what is this? It's like, oh, this is a song called Dry Your Eyes by The Streets. I'm like, it's like British hip hop guy. I was like, I'm like Shazamming a dude doing karaoke, and it comes up. Yeah, him that whole crew that did Wet Hot American Summer, like Ken Marino and Joe Latruglio, like really, really great karaoke. Bobby Cannavale, really a remarkable group of guys that would sing. And then, Rudd and I will do some Broadway that'll, do Rent, Knock Your Socks Off.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because in those private rooms, you can go to private places.
You're literally, Brent was another dude. This is just so
good.
Having so many flashbacks. All right.
Great. Let them be flash forwards, bud.
That's right.
Great.
All right. Last question. If you weren't an actor, what would you be doing?
Oddly enough, I think I would probably want to coach basketball and teach acting.
Nice.
I think that'd be so neat to be a drama teacher, and it's kind of what I get to do as Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Both behind the scenes and in front of the camera. I really like seeing people reach their potential. I like encouraging that. I don't do it as well as I could at every given moment, but that's one of the neat things of getting to write a show where you do play those type of characters. But yeah, I think those are two things that I've benefited from greatly in my life, both team sports and being around the arts, like growing up, my mom taking us to see everything, my dad playing all sorts of music in the car, and just everything in between. But I would want to do some version of that. I mean, I guess I am kind of doing that with my kids to a certain degree.
Right,
and take them to go see plays and going to see basketball and sports and whatnot. But yeah, that would be it. What about you guys? What would you do?
Me?
What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I mean, I think that's why Travis signed up for another year of football.
Where it's like you don't have to ask that.
This guy has no idea what he's doing with his life right now. I got to keep playing as long as I can.
Yeah. Do you know what you had done?
I feel like I would have still been in sports, like done some sort of broadcasting or something like that. I just remember always mimicking what I heard on the TV and during games and stuff.
Yeah.
Like John Madden and all those games.
Of course,
so.
Yeah. Do you know what you did?
Probably coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's so hard to envision myself doing something outside of sports.
Yeah.
That was really the only thing that I was ever good at.
I could see you playing the sax. I could see you playing the sax on SNL.
Oh,
the sax on SNL?
Yeah.
I was baritone in Cleveland Heights' jazz ensemble.
You had some fucking solos, though.
You know why I was baritone? Because I wasn't good enough to play tenor or alto.
Baritone's like the bass line?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
Slow fingers. You got to get those things
faster,
man.
Lenny Pickett is a legend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Tower Power, man. That dude.
Yeah, baby.
Golly. Crazy Legs? What was his name? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Forget. He has. There's a dance that he does, like Lenny Pickett, who's the guy that played with the saxophone on SNL.
Tower Power is one of
Tower
our...
Power is his. But he has like a dance move that he did. He would, like, I don't know, it's something that my buddy Billy always brings up. He's like, oh, that's Lenny Pickett, man. Crazy Legs.
Now I'm going to be using this. I can't wait to watch these.
I know.
clips.
I got to find out what it is. Jason, that's not what it's called. He's a very, very chill guy. His saxophone is all over the place. When his voice is very chill. Lenny, legend.
I love it, man. Dude, thanks for coming on, brother.
Of course, man.
You're the best, brother.
It's been so great. Thank you for having me. Really, yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you always showing up in KC too, man. We'll get back on the train, baby.
Absolutely.
We'll get back on the train.
We will indeed. We will. It's a again. It's a better. This is what happens at the end of the second act. Like this is when Woody and Buzz Lightyear they're away from each other, then they come back together.
Yes.
That's the Chiefs and the trophy.
Let's do it, baby. All right, now. Shout out to Jason Sudeikis. What a guy, man.
Yeah.
That was, God damn it, I loved every second of it. It's one of those where, like, you really don't even read the rundown. And I hate to say that to our producers because you guys do a lot of hard work and a lot of research. But don't do it, Brandon.
My iPad was off.
No, he's one of those guys where you just ask an interesting question. Like, how about the Blue Man Crew? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, for sure. The Blue Man Crew, like his time in Vegas, his time at Second City.
Riding a Razor scooter through to the Flamingo every day.
The thing I took away for sure is just how much he's valued all the people that he's been surrounded
he's so
with.
grateful. It's the best.
And it's just awesome.
Just a Midwest,
from people
just a nice Midwest man.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll make him any better, man.
No doubt.
And he's on the Chiefs side, which is it's heartbreaking for me because I didn't make him proud.
I think you did.
One day I will.
You did.
No, man, Jason's the best. Basketball. You know what I'm talking about? You have no fucking clue. This guy's clueless, man.
All right, and that wraps up another episode of New Heights, brought to you by Audible. You can listen to new episodes of New Heights early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
New Heights, a Wondery show produced by Wave Sports and Entertainment and brought to you by Audible. Just like Jason said, listen to what I gotta say.
Yeah.
Follow the show on all social media at New Heights Show with 1S. Thanks to our production and crew for kind of doing some good stuff this time around.
Yeah, no,
and kind of just always. Thanks to you guys. Please delete anything that I will get canceled for. And to the 92%ers, hopefully you guys enjoyed both episodes this week, and we will see you guys next week. Appreciate you tuning in. Peace.